Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It is about 2:45 Central Standard Time, 14:45 Central Standard Time, and as you can see, Hurricane Michael has become a very intense storm. So again, I'm here in Dauphin Island, Alabama. Currently, this storm is moving to the north at about 12 miles per hour, and the pressure has dropped to 965 millibars. Again, I am where the blue circle is, which is Dauphin Island, Alabama, which is now under a tropical storm warning. So as you can see that the storm is projected to move north and then off to the east, but we have to remember how wide these storms really are. At some points, this storm is 200 miles in width. So even though I'm on the western side of this storm, I do think that Dauphin Island will get a significant wind event. I've mentioned for a couple of days, as well as a forecaster, a friend of mine, Mike in Pascagoula, that this storm could be a Category 4, and it looks like that is very much on the table at this point. All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is around 14:40 or 2:40 Central Standard Time on October the 9th, 2018, as we await what Hurricane Michael will do as it approaches the northern Gulf Coast. Currently, the spaghetti models are all beginning to come together, and looks like a destined to Panama City landfall for this storm. Again, I am at Dauphin Island, Alabama. When I did my earlier video today at around 10:55 Central Standard Time, the water was still below my bulkhead, and it was starting to come over this bulkhead. As you can see, it's picked up since 10:55 this morning. So the tide is rising. The tide here gets high to its highest level at around 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So as the storm approaches this evening, the tide will continue to get higher. As the storm approaches, the wind will shift out of the northeast. So even as the storm makes landfall tomorrow, I don't expect the storm surge to be any worse than it is now, given that if it makes a landfall tomorrow afternoon as the tide is rising again, I think the north wind will be pushing a lot of the water out of the Mobile Bay, which is in this direction, which will give us probably not much worse than it is now in terms of storm surge. I could be wrong, but I followed so many storms right here, and generally if we get the western side of the storm as it approaches, we get a north or a northeasterly wind, which would be coming out of the direction just in front of me and blowing right into the camera as we speak. Currently the wind is coming out of my east in this direction over that oak tree, which as the crow flies, or these birds are flying, that would be the direction in which this storm is projected to make landfall, which is the Panama City destined area. What we have to be careful about here is a western wobble, and I will explain. So I'm going to hand the camera to this young lady. Okay? Alright, so come out here. So what we have to be careful for on these type of storms is the proverbial western wobble. So if I am here in Dauphin Island, and this storm is coming from the southeast, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's supposed to hook up and around, hitting Panama City or Destin, kind of square on and heading back out. If we remember Katrina from the 2005, it had a similar trajectory, except Katrina came in from a more easterly direction. But the way this storm comes in, you can't rule out the potential that as it gets to go, or as it begins going due north, which now it has gone from northwesterly track to a due north track. So it is due to make that northeasterly turn. However, as the latest update, we are at 965 millibars. We're moving due north at 12 miles per hour. And I guess there's some good news to moving north at 12 miles per hour, and that it has sped up. We won't have such a long duration of that storm sitting in one location. It'll kind of get out of here. At the same time, I think this is conducive to a bigger wind event which we have to be careful for. So we do have to watch out for that western wobble. If it moves north and just decides to wobble over and wobble, because they will wobble, then right here we could get a really intense type storm. So again, this is my south. Directly over those trees is the Gulf of Mexico. This again, I don't think will get any worse. I think as the tide comes up, it might get up to, say, this tree. And then as the tide subsides, it will go down below the bulkhead again. And as the storm pushes to our north and makes landfall, the wind will shift from my east to coming out of the north, which will push the water out of here generally. So this shouldn't be an issue for Dauphin Island tomorrow, at least the backside of the island, having storm surge water coming onto it. Now the west end currently, which is in that direction, we have about a 4 or 5 mile long island, give or take. It might be a little wrong there, someone can correct me on that. But the very west end is always battered by these type of storms. And I hear from what Carla has just told me that she ventured out in the west end of Dauphin Island on the windward side is now impassable. So I think tomorrow, as my forecast is for Dauphin Island, I think that we can expect 30 to 60 mile per hour winds coming out of the northeast, blowing in that direction. So with the tide coming in, we might get some storm surge on the backside of the island, but I would think because of the wind direction, we wouldn't get that much in terms of water. But the wind event tomorrow could be fairly significant here in Dauphin Island. If you are in Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Niceville, Crestview, Panama City, Tallahassee, Apalachicola, you are in a direct line of fire for a really brutal storm. Don't take this one lightly. This one is very Katrina-like in its intensity. I'll put some graphics at the beginning. You've already seen those if you've gotten to this point, and I'll put a couple at the end. Since my weather guru Mikey in Mississippi forecasted this to be a beast, as this was an investigation area, I would agree with him at this point. I think a Category 4 storm is going to be the case here for the Panhandle of Florida. Again, if we have a western wobble, it can definitely get dicey right here. So again, if you are east of me from Pensacola all the way to Apalachicola, get inland. This one's going to be rough. I don't know if I would wait this storm out right here if it was going to make a direct landfall here. This one could be catastrophic. Again, appreciate it. Moving north at 12 miles per hour. If it hangs on that north track and did not make that easterly turn here in Dauphin Island, we could have a really rough go. Again, we'll still get the western side of the storm. If it did wobble, right now, again, it moved, it's coming up. If it wobbles to the east, I think we can rest assured it won't get that bad here at all. If it keeps moving north, and then wobbles a little bit to the west, or just hangs north and doesn't move on its path, then I think right here in Dauphin Island we'll be spared of any storm surge, but I think we will get drilled by some wind. So hey, thanks for watching. Click a like below, subscribe below. As the weather deteriorates here, I'll definitely keep doing this. I don't anticipate much rain here. I don't anticipate much storm surge here, but if we get a westerly wobble with the convection around those clouds now that you can see in the infrared radar, this storm is not to be played with. So if it made a direct landfall hypothetically in Pensacola, Florida, given that you got about 75 miles of hurricane force winds stacked around the center, if it made a direct landfall in Pensacola, then right here on the coast, in Alabama, on Dauphin Island, it could get extremely dicey. So hey, take care, appreciate it. I got my camera girl back. Oh yeah, she's ready. You don't like the weather? No. All right, so keep in touch. I'll definitely be out. If not tonight, then for sure when the sun comes up in the morning, maybe around 8 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I think the landfall is supposed to be around 3 o'clock. So if it gets really intense tonight, or if I have any squalls that come on shore, I'll come out next to my trusty tree. And now I have a flag that is now being another good help for my wind gauge. The bulkhead on my side now is starting to get covered with some water. And then it's already coming in to the neighbor's yard where we don't have quite as high as a bulkhead. So hey, appreciate everybody. I really hope this is a good storm for weather video purposes, but I definitely hope everybody's safe. Again, if you are east of me, starting in Pensacola, even Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Perdido Pass, Pensacola, Crestview, Niceview, Apalachicola, I wouldn't hang out on the coast too long. I may do it myself if per se it was coming here, but I don't think I would do it with my family. So be safe. This storm will go down in the history books. Be careful with this storm. Wish the best for everybody. Be safe, and I'll definitely stay apprised of the weather, and if it gets dicey, even if it's dark, I'll come down here and do some videos. But for now, be safe and keep your eyes out for the next one. See ya. All right, and ending, this is the last projected path or projected cone from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. Again, if this storm rides to the west side or to the left side of this cone, consider the width of these storms, and what we can expect here in Dauphin Island on the western side of that could still be quite intense. As for now, anybody on the east side of the center of circulation for this storm definitely needs to get out of harm's way. Be safe. Take care of yourself, hunker down, click a like below, subscribe below, share the video. Most importantly, stay safe. This storm's no joke.